So let's discuss what is topology. So networking topology is a arrangement of various elements like link nodes etc. of a computer network. Essentially, it is a topologically structure of a network and may be despite physically or logically. So basically there are the two types of topologies. One is physical and another one is logical. So we will see physical type of the topology in this session, but let me give you idea of what is logical topology. So as we know some device we already discussed about devices, networking devices like switch, router and all this device, how they work and what was the purpose of all this device. If you talk about switch, so the purpose of switch to connect the multiple system or multiple pieces with different node with the help of their port. So this is the duty of switch. And if you talk about the router, so the duty of router is to take the packet from the inside of the network and send to the outside to the internet. And whatever the reply comes from the outside, it will take the packet and send to the switch, and switch will uh, send the packet to the appropriate user. So this is the duty of networking devices. So you know what, with the help of this kind of a requirement, you know, the networking guys, they come and they think this logic about how they working this device, and with the help of this logic they convert this type of network and this type of device into software type of device, software based device. So you do not need to buy this type of device physically. They convert this device into the software, and this software is known as software defined network. So this is a software defined network. Actually internally work like they work exactly like switch and router only. So they behave like router and switch only, but you do not need this type of hardware. So with the help of this without the help of this hardware, they create internal network like router and switch. So let's say if you have gone through any Docker course or of a right education course of Docker or any other platform like Red Hat Linux also, any other platform also. So you can see they have one type of vocabulary of their own software defined network like network adapter like uh, network adapter like bridge and maybe the netting and maybe the netting also, petting also. So these are the actually they behave like exactly like router and switch only with the help of bridge. So bridge is exactly work like switch. So you can think in this way, whatever the work switches do, logically this work done by bridge also, and whatever the netting and petting do, exactly that task also done by with the help of router also. So router is the one who know how to translate the packet and for make the entry point and forward the packet and capture the packet, redirect the packet. So that is the duty of in as a logical software defined network. That is the beauty of netting also and petting also. We can done this exactly same thing without using any hardware based networking device. So this is the one thing. This is exactly very small intro of logical network designing, and logical topology. So we have some physical topology also. In that physical topology, we have to use some physical devices. So there are the six different type of physical topologies are. So there are six type of topology obviously. So bus topology, ring topology, star topology, and mesh topology, tree topology, and hybrid topology. So let's see one by one. These all are the topologies. Bus topology. As you can see in the bus in picture also, so one node is going through, and so many different computers are connected with one single node. So let's go through it, and then we will see with the example and explanation also. So bus topology is a network type in which every computer and network device is connected to the single cable. It transmitted the data from one end to another end in a single direction. So obviously what we read and what we seen in this picture exactly happening in their node also. So let's say you have a node or one cable. So this cable, which already we read, this cable is coaxial cable and console cable. You can pronounce both the way, coaxial cable and console cable also. So in bus topology, this cable, you can see this is a coaxial cable, and with the help of this cable, one node is connected here with one PC, another node is connected here with another PC, and this node is also connected with their appropriate system with the help of their based on the infrastructure of company. So they create with the help of their own purpose. So you can see here is the one node, and it, it only have one bandwidth. That's why the coaxial cable and console cable only have baseband connectivity. They do not have multi-baseband connectivity. So if you think in this way, if you can see this type of node, or you can see in here picture also this kind of node, one with the help of one node so many system is connected. So right now let's say if this connection is goes down from here, so every node or the every system and every network system will goes down. So now they if A want to send here something to B, so B now do not need to don't able to communicate with B, or B don't able to communicate with C, because node is node, and this uh, main consumption of the line baseband line is goes down. That's why this is not possible to communicate with each other. That is the one disadvantage of bus topology. And you can might be you can think how they can connect in between each other with every node here and there. So they have some kind of connector. Here they are using T connector. So with the help of T connector, without any hesitation, you can cut the cable and you can attach the T connector, and with the help of T connector you can connect multiple system with your own appropriate requirement. So that is the challenge. One challenge is if your main line is goes down, so none of the PC can able to communicate with each other. And if you want to connect with any PC, so you need to require a T connector. So that is the one thing. Let's see another topology. Another one is ring topology. As the name sound is obviously designed in that same form, and then same form factor also. So here you can see ring topology. A ring is a network topology. Is each node connected to exactly to other nodes, forming a single continuous path. From a signal through each node a ring, data travel from one node with each node along with the way handling every packet. So actually what happening in this topology, if you can see here, so let's say this is our ring topology. One system is connected here, one system is connected here, one is here, another one is here. So in the circular form there are so many system is connected. So if let's say this connection is goes down, so now they have the circular connection, so they can communicate in this way, in this circular form also, and this circular form also. You can think in this, they can communicate in clockwise direction also, and anti-clockwise direction also. They can able to communicate in both the direction. But let's say this connection is goes down, clockwise direction is goes down, so they can able to communicate with anti-clockwise direction also. But now if other way also goes down, so now only other four PCs are able to communicate, and this PC is not able to communicate. So one challenge we have is in this topology we are also using a same cable, coaxial cable or console cable. So we know we already I think you know we already discussed this type of cables and all this stuff. So they are using console cable in this same form factor, and every topology or every node and every network is connected with singular form. So actually we do not have very big challenge in this topology. Still nowadays this topologies are still useful, but but nowadays coaxial cable or console cable is not much more useful. So that's why we do not see this type of topology nowadays in any infrastructure or any areas. Okay, so let's move to the next part. So star topology. A star network is an implementation of spoke hub direction paradigm in computer network. In a star network, every host is connected to a central hub. In its simplest form, one central hub acts as conduit to transmit the message. The star network is one of the most common computer network topologies. So as we already know, and we will discuss more about in a device section also, that hub is a device which you can able to connect the multiple devices exactly like switch. But we have some challenge with hub. We already discussed in device part of networking device part. We already discussed about why we do not use hub. That's why the upgrade version of hub is nowadays we mostly use switch. So switch is a one, they take the place of hub. So with the help of switch you can connect multiple device. So connecting the multiple device, so indirectly they create a one like of star. So it doesn't mean they have only 5 node, so they create only, and they more than 5 also. So then also that means this is the star topology. It doesn't mean they have to maintain the symbol of star. It's just the name of the concept. So if you connect more than 5 system also, then also it means only a star topology. So you know the advantages of switch. Switch can communicate with port to port, and switch never create a broadcast collision, and hub is the one who create the collision, and switch cannot create the collision. And switch have some other beauties also. If you talk about a higher version of switch, we already discussed in switch. So switch part, what is the beauty of switch and what is the advantage and disadvantage of hub. So I'm not going so much deep in right now. If you don't know, so go through the device section. So let's see the another one, mesh topology. Mesh is a type of networking in which all the computers are interconnected to each other. In mesh topology, the connection between devices take place randomly. The connected nodes can be computer, switch, hubs, or any other devices. So as you can see in this picture also, this is the mesh topology. They consist of a star topology also and another topology also connected with each other. So why this called a mesh topology? So let's see. So let's say we have same exactly like a switch star topology kind of topology, but you can think in this way. We have some challenge in this topology. So now every node able to communicate with each other, because if you can see this topology, they meshing around with each other. Why? Because let's say this system is goes down, so Now this PC, this A PC is able to communicate with B also still. Why? Because they have second connection with the help of switch also. So now it can also communicate with B also with the help of this route path. With the help of this path, they can also still able to communicate. Now let's think in this way. In this system is also goes down. So if this system is also goes down, so now still A is still able to communicate with B. Why? Because now A packet travel through this system, and with the help of this system, and this goes through their destination without any delay, because this topology is mesh with each other. So every device able to communicate each other, and every device able to send a packet to their appropriate address, appropriate destination. So one of the disadvantages of this topology is you if let's say this system is goes down and this line is goes down, so you can't able to, and this line is also goes down, so you can't able to identify which system is goes down, because you can able to communicate with every direction. Even this direction is also goes down, you can still able to communicate with this direction. You can still able to communicate with C, uh, uh, this system, and with the help of this system your packet come through this system also without any hesitation. Maybe they change their path, change their route, change their roadmap, but they still able to communicate with other devices also. So that is the one beauty of mesh topology, that you can able to communicate with everywhere and every device, but it is harder to identify the problem, and it is so expensive. Why? Because you are setting so much devices and so much like wires and cable you have to handle and manage. It is very difficult to manage in mesh topology, to wires and cables and all that stuff, and devices and system also. So it's a very lengthy process, and it's expensive also, and it is very problem it creates so many collision because of their cable and connections. So this is the mesh topology. Now see the another one. So tree topology. So tree topology is a topology which is having a tree structure in which all the computer are connected like the branch, which are connected with the trees. In the computer network, tree topology is called a combination of star bus and star network topology. So as we read, and you know what that means, but let's see they want to what they want to conclude. Let's see with the help of example. So let's say here is our router. So this router is exactly like trunk of our tree. So you know how trees look like. So this is the tree, and they have their different branches, and this one is the trunk of tree. So here your router is exactly like your trunk of your tree. So now with the help of this cable you connect with the switch. Now switch distribute this cable to different branch and different office. Now with the help of different office, internally they connect the small switch, and with the help of small switch they connect the multiple device and multiple system of their uh, appropriate office and appropriate branch. So now every office and every branch they have their own system. This also have their own system. Every branch and every network and every switch have their own system. Maybe they sometimes they have consist of star topology also. Maybe some branch also have their own one single line topology, which is called a bus topology. But we talk as it is, the bus topology and ring topologies are not much useful nowadays. We only use star topology and tree topology, and hybrid topology. So what is hybrid we see in the next one. So uh, this kind of structure and this kind of the infrastructure that created by the guys of networking. So this topology is called tree topology. They build exactly like tree, so that's why this is called tree topology. So let's see the another one. So hybrid topology. Topology, a tree topology or a star bus topology is a hybrid network topology in which star network are interconnected via bus network. Tree networks are hierarchical and each node can have an attributive number of childs and nodes. So hybrid is, you can think in this way, hybrid is just a name of term, is just exactly like a term. So maybe you can think in this way, this topology consists of so much different type of topologies. Like if you merge this tree topology, let's say this is the one branch, this is the one branch, and you create the one more this is the mesh topology, and this is the one branch, and topology. So maybe you can think in this way, this is also a one branch. So this is one branch, and this is two, and this is three. And if you combine this all this branch for one very big company, so this very big company become a they compiling their own network, their duty to maintain their own network, they take to responsibility, security test, and their own stuff they do. So this kind of duty and this kind of stuff is exactly look like their own appropriate content and their appropriate work. So this type of topology is known as hybrid topology. Why? Because internally this topology create and constructed with the help of other topology. That's why this topology is also known as hybrid topology. So I that's all about topology. So let's now after we completing this type of session or theoretical session, we will discuss when the last session come up. In the last session we will discuss how to build this type of topology in the networking simulation. So just grasp this, try to recall this type of topologies, and try to read about this type of topologies, and especially this type topologies is are the just a concept that construction how the construction of network is developed. So it's just a concept. If you know, if you don't know, it not create a much more impact. But as a network profession, as a network employer, or as a network professional, you have to know and you have to identify the topologies of networking. So now topology part is over. Let's discuss LAN basic. So we already discussed what is LAN. So here are the some networks and connectors of LANs. So what is LAN? So a local area network is basically a network snapping over a relative smaller area, and in mostly of the instances may be confined to a single room, buildings, or group of buildings. From inten For intention, LANs are used in universities, college, office buildings, and so on. So you already know, we discussed in the first lecture of network essential, what is LAN and what is the duty of LAN, why we use the LAN. So you already know, I think we already covered this detail. So and if you don't know, so LAN is just a type of network connector. Sorry, not network connector, it is just a type of network. So and there are so many types of network, and every network will develop and consist with the help of LAN networks only. internally every network contain a LAN network. If we talk about an company perspective or as a personal home appliance perspective, we always deal with LAN networks. That's why this topic is so much useful. What is basic of LAN? So we will discuss the in this part connectors and all this type of LAN. So let's see. So LAN transmission media, we already covered this part also. There are the three type of wired transmission media used in LAN network, because obviously we have to deal with LAN network. So console cable, coaxial cable, and we can also pronounce them console cable also. But I told you already that coaxial cable is not much useful nowadays. We only use the twisted pair cable. So we have other type also, twisted pair also, in twisted pair like a shielded twisted pair and unshielded twisted pair. And how you can lay down the cable, color cable and structure, we will also see that part also. So mostly we will use the twisted pair cable only. So and fiber optic cable we discuss tomorrow, that what is fiber optic cable and who gonna use this type of cable. So that's I think this part is we already done. So connector are used in transmission media. So which type of connector are used in transmission media, that we are going to see in this topic. So connector is a device that terminates a segment of cabling or provide a point of entry for networking devices such as computer hubs and router. So uh, let's discuss in a minute. So connectors and jacks and plugs known as male connector, or sockets and ports known as female connector. So what they mean actually, let's say you have this pi system or a computer also. So now you have this device. So as a beginner level or as a networking expert, how you can identify which cable is going to put in this computer, or in which port you are able to going to put in this switch. So maybe there have so multiple ports in behind. If you have desktop computer, so if you see on the behind of your CPU, so you see the multiple ports on your computer. So how you can identify in which port my cable is going through, so I can able to communicate with my switch, and which port of my switch is able to communicate with router. So that's the challenge we have. So that's why we use some types of ports and connector to able to connect with our devices, networking devices. So if you want to connect with your switch and PC, so with the help of RJ45 connector. So with the help of RJ45 connector, you can connect this port in there. The port LAN port is already available on your system. So RJ45 connector goes to your LAN connector of your PC, and with the help of that wire, you can connect exactly same port of RJ45 connector, and that LAN port goes to your switch. So how they look like we see in a minute. So with the help of this type of connector and this type of other connector, we can connect the multiple devices. And by default and by design, the switch have 24 port. So right now in every example we see only the 5 system, but you can able to connect 24 ports, means you can able to communicate 24 system with one switch. So let me show you. So this is how your twisted pair cable is look like. This is here twisted pair cable is your, and this is your connectors of twisted pair cable. This is the RJ45 connector. We use RJ11 also, but RJ11 is outdated. Nowadays we mostly use RJ45 connectors. And as you can here see why this is called twisted, because you can see there the internal wire is twisted. And this is the coaxial cable. This cable also it looks like exactly this cable, and this is the connector of uh, uh, coaxial cable. This connector is called BNC connector, and this connector is called RJ45 connector. So and this is the fiber optic cable. We already discussed, it consists of fiber, plastic and light. So you can see internally there are so many fibering layer, and they have the Geno light of LED light and fibering light. With the help of this light they travel the networks to entire globe. So that's why this cable is so powerful and so much covered a very long distance, and they use this type of connector. So this is the SC, this black one is SC connector, and this red one is ST connector. So both look exactly like same, but they have very little bit difference, but it won't possible to show you here because you have to physically see the cable, then you will identify what is the very slight type of difference it is there. So this this type of cable we are use, and this type of cable and connectors we use to communicate, but we mostly use this twisted pair cable and RJ45 connector. We never use this console cable and BMC connector, and we also don't use fiber optic cable, and we also don't use SC and ST connector. We only use this type of cable only. So that's it. Very small lecture today, but after you knowing the IP address, let me show you. After you knowing the IP addresses, type of IP address, and what is IP addresses, why we use IP addresses. So with the help of, after knowing this topic, I think this is the next topic of our plan. So after knowing this topic, so you able to create your own network, your own personal simulation network. So we use this type of device software like Cisco Packet Tracer. So let me open this. So it will create a login. So yeah, now it's login. So as you can see here, so this is the network simulation kind of. So let's discuss its interface. As you can see here in the corner, we have the devices. First device is router. So you can pick any router from here. This is the router. This is switch. There are so many different type of switch. You can pick up any one. And here we have wireless device also, hub also, security device also, and wide area network emulation device also. So there are so many device, and this type of other system also we have, like PC, laptop also, server also, and any other devices like telephone and smart devices also we have. And then we have that components also, internal components of any other devices like sensor and that all that stuff. And these are the cables. So this is the console cable what we discussed, and this is the coaxial cable, and this is the straight through cable, and this is the crossover cable. This two cable, it work exactly like LAN cable what we discussed right now. This two cable, especially these two cables are the only one which are useful to connect entire device with the systems and computers. So these are the device which we are going to use. So let's say these are the device. So with So maybe we have challenge. So right now we you don't know what which in which port we are going to put this cable or this connector. So by default you can see there is the fast Ethernet. This is the RJ45 port, and with this is the fast Ethernet port, and inside this port you able to put your connector. So which connector? Obviously RJ45 connector. And this connector, now see your network is attached, your wire is attached to the your PC. Now same exactly same thing we can do with the help of here also. We can connect the first port of switch. So as you can see they are able to communicate. Why this is showing a yellow? Because it take some time. By the way, if this is still yellow, then it means you have to configure something on switch. So why we need to configure? So before going to this part, we have to know and understand what is the IP address and what are the types of IP address. So as you can see, it take us some time to connect, but in maybe some scenarios it won't able to connect with PC. Why? Because the port is not enable, or maybe some other challenge also. So if you want to identify that kind of challenge, you have to first know what is the challenge, and you have to solve this kind of challenge which port is not up, which is not properly is blinking. That's why you should have to able to troubleshoot in network. So this is the last part of our session. Right now we do not network, require this type of session right now. We I am only showing you this just for explanation. By the meantime you can this information is enough for today, and next day we will discuss maybe next day I think we have class on Monday. So Monday we will discuss about IP addresses, and let me check first. So yeah, we will discuss about IP addresses and TCP IP model. So TCP IP model, we have some changes. It is exactly like OSI model, but it have some changes in TCP IP model. So we will discuss this what is the difference in TCP IP and OSI model. After knowing the difference, IP addressing and the traveling of packet through TCP IP model, after knowing that much knowledge, and after completing this much part of on Monday IP addressing and TCP IP model, then we will discuss in network simulation how to create our own topology. Maybe you have planned something like this. Let's say I have switch here and I take the system here. One PC is here, one PC is here, one PC is here, another two PC is here. So now if you want to connect this all PCs, so obviously we discuss how to connect. So you can connect easily, but if okay, let me show you what I am going to tell you. So let's connect one by one. So this one also, 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 and this one also. So now every PC is connected. So now if you want to send some packet to this PC, so right now this PC is not able to communicate with each other. Why? Because this IP address don't know the IP address of this PC. And if you want to if this PC want to send some packet to this PC, so this PC do not know the IP address of this PC. And one more challenge we have. So all of these PCs are not in the same network. Right now we haven't provided any IP address. So if I can send any packet from, let's say, here to here, so what is saying, the functional of the port is no functionality of port. So means it telling that we haven't provided any IP address. Internally, this message is saying the same thing. So if you try to send any packet, it won't work. So that's why the knowing the IP address is so much important in networking. So that's it for today. Uh, Hope you enjoy, and we will see you into the next one. So any query if you have, you can ask. Okay, so I think we do not have any queries. So I'll see you into the next one. Okay, thank you so much, guys.